Last year, Horry County had more than $2 million in overtime expenditures, and here you see some of the numbers for some of the highest: police, detention, and 911 communications. However, these agencies don't top the list. News 13's AJ Janeville spent the past few months researching the numbers, and he joins us now live with the department that has the most overtime in this News 13 special report tonight. AJ?
Bob, $1.2 million. That's what Horry County Fire Rescue spent in overtime in 2013. Their budget called for $600,000. Through my research, I found that some firefighters were earning double their salary in overtime. So I sat down with county officials and I asked them exactly how do you validate these numbers and where do you find the money to make up the difference? According to Horry County officials, a firefighter's salary ranges from $32,000 to $50,000. On a list I was able to obtain detailing the top overtime earners for Horry County Fire Rescue, I found two firefighters making more than $83,000 and more than $71,000. I sat down with Brian Van Arnhem, the battalion chief for Horry County Fire Rescue, and asked him how a firefighter could earn so much money from overtime.
These are the guys that are working.
Van Arnhem says overtime is available to all employees. However, not everyone takes it.
Those are the guys that are calling up. Those are the guys that are coming in here and working 48 hours straight to serve you, to serve your grandmothers, the people in the community. Those are the guys that are coming in here every day, and that's how they work to make their living. They work hard.
I asked if there is any concern that employees working this many hours will not be able to function in the high physical demand of firefighting and possibly make life-threatening mistakes.
You get tired, and you do. You get tired. There's times where you have to take a break. And that's where we have good supervisors. We have good line officers, and we have good battalion chiefs. We have good administrative chiefs, and they pay attention to these guys, and I think they do. And there's been several points in time that we've actually pulled guys and said, you're on a break.
Van Arnhem says the county will not allow firefighters to work any more than 48 hours without having at least 8 hours off the clock. He also says even when on the clock, firefighters are not constantly working during the 48-hour shift. Van Arnhem says, due to shortages in staffing, overtime is their only option.
If I have only 2 people assigned to this station, and one of them calls out, I have to fill this station to keep it open.
Why?
If I don't, then we have to close the station down. We don't have the manning for it.
He says, if a station closes, even briefly, it can be a matter of life or death.
Coming from 20 minutes away or 15 minutes away or 10 minutes away, your chance of your life being saved is a lot less.
I asked Van Arnhem if a firefighter is making double their salary, why not just create another position?
When we talk about a salary, you're talking about the money that we're paying them. We're not talking about insurance. We're not talking about uniforms. We're not talking about gear. We're not talking about training. So there's actually a lot more that goes into it.
According to fire officials, here is how the actual numbers add up. In total, a base salary firefighter EMT cost the county almost $48,000 with all the fringe costs included, which is almost $10,000 more than the highest paid firefighter was making with overtime. In the fall of 2013, Horry County Fire Rescue received a 6 mills tax increase, which equals $24 per $100,000 household. That money is intended to upstaff stations, as well as to purchase new gear. However, the process has been a slow one. Van Arnhem says new hires have to be selected, as well as go through a 4-month training process. And he says that does not necessarily fix their overtime problem.
People come and people go, and sometimes we hire guys on and it doesn't work out. It's not what they expected, or things change. They decide they're going to move back home, or they're going to move on.
He says they already have 5 new employees working full-time, as well as about 40 more expected to be on in the next few months. Now, fire officials tell me in 2013, fire and rescue were both budgeted $3,000 for overtime. Fire ended up paying more than $560,000 and rescue nearly $700,000 in overtime. That's more than $650,000 more than they were budgeted. Now, fire officials tell me that that money comes from other areas of their budget that were either unused or where they had extra dollars. But Fire Chief Fred Crosby does tell me that about $20,000 had to come from their actual operating part of their budget, which essentially means that they had to tighten their belt a little when it came to things like uniform or gear. Live in Horry County, outside station number 20, AJ Janeville for News 13.
All right, thanks a lot, AJ. Now, as for those two firefighters who earned double their salary in 2013, both already have earned nearly $65,000 so far this year. We're less than a third of the way through the year. Again, the top salary for an Horry County firefighter, top salary that is, about $50,000. Here are the current overtime budgets as of April 11th for Horry County Fire and Rescue. And as you can see, both agencies already passed their allotted budgets for the entire year.